I'm James Swartz, managing attorney at Swartz and Swartz. The birth of a child should be one of the most joyous occasions in your life. Unfortunately, at times, deaths of children occur due to the negligence of hospitals, of doctors, nurses, or other caregivers. These deaths are sometimes caused by negligence during prenatal care, during the delivery itself, or after delivery, for example, in the administration of medications. There's no amount of money that can replace a child. But it's important to understand what your legal rights are should such a tragedy strike in your life or the life of a family member. If a newborn baby dies due to the negligence of someone else, there are certain types of damages that the law provides for that can be obtained if the proper proof is presented. Those damages include economic losses, such as funeral expenses, costs of medical care, and those types of losses. Other types of potential compensation include intangible losses, like emotional pain or loss of enjoyment of life. As a start, from a legal standpoint, it's most important to determine what was the cause of death. This can be done with experienced counsel and also with the help of experienced medical experts who can review the medical records, the literature, and make a determination not only how the death occurred, but also whether it was due to the negligence of a medical professional. Unfortunately, we've seen newborns die in a number of different scenarios. For example, sometimes there are birth injuries. Sometimes there's a failure to do a cesarean section when all indications are that that's the safest method of delivery. Other times there might be a general failure to monitor the mother during a complicated pregnancy. And we've seen situations where there's been a failure to properly administer medication once that child is born. In all of those scenarios, in order to determine whether a case can proceed forward, there needs to be a careful evaluation of whether negligence caused the death. Keep in mind that particularly in these medical negligence cases, insurance companies don't typically offer a fair settlement, certainly not in the early stages. More often than not, it's important to consult with an attorney who can advise you and your family of their rights and whether there's a need to move forward with litigation and filing a complaint in court. It's important to remember that with these medical negligence cases, there's a specific timeline in which you're required to act. One issue is the evidence and preservation of evidence. You want to make sure that you're gathering that evidence and your attorney has that evidence early on to proceed with the claim. Also, every state has what's called a statute of limitations. So there's a time limit in which these cases must be filed in court. If you don't file within that time limit, then you may be forever barred from pursuing your claims. So again, it's important to understand what those time requirements are and speak to your attorney about when it's best to proceed. So if you or a loved one has suffered a terrible tragedy involving an infant, contact Swartz and Swartz.